Hello, this is Guardboard 14. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Been busy. First off, I would say happy late Thanksgiving for everybody and hope for a good new year. And hope for a good new year. And sorry about that. It's work. And hope for a good Christmas and hope for a good 2025 coming up. Today's video, I was going to talk about pros and cons when I was a correctional officer. If those don't know, I was a correctional officer for 3 years at Florida Department of Corrections. I did that for a while and did some pros and cons. And also, this is educational too for people who want to go to corrections or in the law enforcement field. So, we'll start off with the cons, shall we? We always gonna start with the bad, then the good. You know what I mean? It's my camera. That's what I can do it. Anyway, so the cons is number one is that it's one of those jobs where like is least appreciated. And what I mean by that is that when you tell somebody, hey, I was a correctional officer, unless you're here in Florida or around the area that's known where there's jails or there's prisons, they will know. But still, correctional officers is known to be the lower barrel of importance, which I don't know why, but people don't understand that it is high importance that correctional officers watch the inmates day in and day out. Is very very important. But you're not looked upon as like you know how people look at firefighters, military, doctors, nurses. They look at a high value. Corrections officers not there, but it is important. Another con is is that not everybody's your friend that's in uniform. You might got the same uniform as them, but trust me and believe me, there's some out there that they don't care. They don't have your back. I mean, majority of them do, but not all of them. They're there to do their job. They're there to, sometimes be power trip, So sometimes they get promoted in one moment you might see that one officer that then they cool, then they become a sergeant, and then they still cool, but it's still out their little course and everything, and until they become a lieutenant and higher. I don't know how some jails might go from officer to FTO, from FTO to corporal, from corporal to sergeant and above. But for prison, where I worked in, it's from officer to sergeant, from sergeant to lieutenant to captain, and then from captain to major, and from major to colonel, and from colonel to warden, or sister warden and warden. So that's how it works. But once some of them, majority of them, I should say, they will get that rank of as a high-ranking officer from sergeant to now a supervisor. Because you got in Florida Department of Corrections, you have your officers, of course. You have your sergeants, and your sergeants is mostly in charge of the dorm. They're in charge of a detail, or they're in charge of the whole entire yard, which is the compound. The security that's called inside security. Once you get to lieutenant, and the uniforms for both of them, for officer and sergeant, is grays, but once you get lieutenant and above, unless you're warden or classification, it's white shirts. Same concept, same look and everything of the uniforms of the gray shirts and white shirts. The only difference is two different colors, but they both look the same. Just one's gray, one's white. But some of them, majority of them, again, some of them Some of them, I'll play this 50-50. 50 of them still be the same, do their job, still be the same cool officer, cool sergeant, the same person you met, and some will change, and which is a whole lot of it. Sometimes they'll just switch up on you, and they don't give a crap about you. All you are to them is a body, a breathing officer in uniform. Another con is right now, I think not only here in Florida, but throughout the whole United States of law enforcement and corrections, is staff shortages. And what that means is that you will have a chance to, you will get the chance to get mandated to work overtime. What I mean by mandated is that, say, like, you come into a shift one day or one night, whatever, and then, like, in a briefing, which is you're the captain, the shift captain, or the shift lieutenant, which is the supervisor, says, day shift or the next shift after you. So say if like it's night shift, which I did, and the next shift is day shift, which is 8 in the morning, and say we work from midnight to 8 in the morning, and that shift is low on certain people, you better hope and pray that your name doesn't get called, which is called it's called a extended day roster. And it goes by the list of how many people have done overtime recently. So if you've done overtime recently, then you're good. But if you haven't, there's a chance, depends on how many people that the next shift needs, is a chance that your name get called on, and you got to stay after and work another shift. And with DOC now went from 12-hour shifts to straight 8-hour shifts, you can guess that not only you work 8-hour shifts or your regular shift, your shift that you work on, but you got to work another 8-hour shift or the next shift that needs the people. So basically, if you work from 12 midnight to 8 in the morning and you get mandated, you got to work from that time, from 8 that morning till 4 in the afternoon. And you better hope that night you don't have to come back. If you do, you got to go straight home. Depends on where you live at and from the compound. Some people live 1 minute away, a few minutes away. Some live 30 minutes away. Some live an hour away from the compound. And they got to drive home and do their normal thing, and then got to come back that next night. So say if you got to work the midnight the next night at that shift, you got to come back, even after you just worked 16 hours. Another con is a dreadful work. Is be honest, it's prison. It's jail. You know what I mean? No matter if it's jail or prison, it's very dreadful. It has its pros, which I will get to on things and stuff like that, but it drags on. And you can tell by the energy of the the job it is. It can take effect on you if you're not strong enough, or if you let it, get to you. It can not only ruin you in job of being not human, but also mess you up too in your personal life too. Which in studies, there's a lot of, officers or sergeants, whatever, who are at the corrections or in law enforcement field that divorce rates is high, and substance abuse, and alcoholism, DUIs and stuff like that increases. And the stress is very, very stressful. It's a stressful job because you got to think, you watching over hundreds of inmates. To be hundreds of inmates, you got, and your dorm, the whole compound is thousands, like almost 2,000. But in your dorm, you probably got like 224 or 222 inmates you gotta watch, and that whole entire dorm. And you gotta keep your head on a swivel because you don't know if the inmate is gonna, try to attack you, or you gotta keep it's very very stressful. And the final con, I don't put too much cons on it because it's not that bad. But another con is CYA is very very effective. If you guys don't know what CYA means, it means cover your butt. And you know what the A stands for. Well, I say butt. Cover your butt means that learn your policy procedures. You gotta learn your policy procedures, your regulations, all that stuff. So that way you can cover your behind if something was to drop off, something was to happen that involves you. And you gotta constantly keep up on your policy procedures and cover your butt every single day, especially for inmates. And inmates, of course, is not friends. And a lot of people ask me, how was it, how the inmates were while I was a correctional officer for 3 years. And I tell them, man, you won't believe it, but inmates wouldn't have much of a problem. I mean, you have your problems with inmates here and there, but it's not the inmates. It's most of the people you work with. Sometimes it'd be the main ones that you call your commanders or your person that you call your partner will be your problem. All right. Enough of the cons. Let's go to the pros. Now, pros about corrections. It all depends on where you live, your demographic, where you live at. Like for me, I live in Florida. Pro is the benefits are pretty good. Like I worked there for a while, and I gotten benefits of like medical, dental, vision, and sometimes I'd be going to appointments and stuff like that, and I only had to pay just a little to sometimes nothing out of my pocket because the state would cover it because the benefits we signed up for. Another pro is, of course, you'll meet people that that, like I said, you might meet some people that just majority of people that you work with will be rough on the edges. They just hang along with, but there are some people in there that you actually kind of cool with. Like I'm still cool with some of the officers now to this day. Even though I don't work there anymore, I'm still really cool with them and making a good relationship with them, and it's really awesome. You actually got some people that are actually cool with it, where like not only you guys get cool during work, you be cool outside of work too. And yeah, you can meet some cool people too that actually you actually care about you to make sure that you're good, make sure that you get your job done and all that stuff, and also have your back too. Which that's the people you want. You want people that knows what they're doing and has your back. And if you're right, they got you. If you don't, you ain't right, then they'll let you know, hey, like you messed up. You know what I mean? Another pro is that being in corrections, and I don't care anybody says, corrections is law enforcement. It's under the law enforcement umbrella. Yes, you cannot do no traffic stops. Yes, you cannot do no normal stuff that a LEO or a law enforcement officer would do on the road, but you are watching a house or a compound facility that's full of felons that law enforcement has brought to justice. And so constantly all the time you're around handcuffs, you're around tasers, you're around pepper spray, you're around firearms, and you take an oath. You gotta go to academy and all that stuff. And a lot of times, which my academy, all my agency, all the stuff goes to Criminal Justice Standardized Testing Center, which is here in Florida, and also goes to Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So all the records that you've done for your academy for corrections or LEO will go to that law enforcement department for records to say that you have done like basically everything you do, from training, from working, even write-ups and terminations. It goes to the department that's in charge of that person, because the prison can't just run by itself by the state. It can, but you gotta have some kind of another umbrella to fall upon, which is for us FDLE and CJSTC, which is Criminal Justice Standardized Testing Center, which that helps us get tested on corrections and law enforcement field agencies and field. Another pro is that when you do in-service, now what in-service is, in case nobody doesn't know what in-service is where you go to a training facility or a training center, and then some jobs pay for it, some jobs don't. Mine fortunately did. They pay us for a whole day to go and basically refresher. You refreshing on your first day. You refreshing on your firearm, which is your shotgun, and your 9mm. You refreshing on your taser. You refreshing on everything. DT, which is hand-to-hand, which is defensive tactics, which is we actually know how to fight. You refresh on that, and it's paid. And it's awesome. I like it because all you're doing all day is just hang around your peers and everything, and you guys do what the lessons bestowed on, and a lot of times they just do it, just get it done and over with, because you already done majority of it during your academy, and all you gotta do is just refresher. Another pro is that I will say that when something happens to an officer, they're making known. Like I remember, God would say so, a former captain, sergeant, 2 sergeants, they passed away through a car accident, and they actually make sure the families know that they care, that, about, what happened to their family members, and they make sure they're not forgotten. So, yeah, it's really good, though. But overall, if anybody wanted to do corrections, I'm not going to steer you for it, because it's not for everybody. But I'll just let you know the pros and cons of what you possibly can be in for. But overall, the career is not bad. I mean, I know some people that have done corrections for 10 years. I know people that have done corrections for 30 years, 25 years. And I know some people that's been there for 15 and still there right now. And some retire. Some retire from the corrections and live pretty good because it's state. Or if you work for county, same thing. And another thing for county too, I don't know about other states, but I know here in the county here in Florida, where if you go work for a sheriff's office at the jail, you can also get deputized and do a crossover. So basically, not only be certified as a correctional officer, you can be certified on the road too for that same agency that has that jail, and you basically deputized. So I will say, if I could do it all over again, I would give corrections one more try. I mean, let's be honest. I can't. I got fired from there. I'm not gonna lie to y'all on YouTube, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got fired from there. And when I got fired from there, I probably make a story on that, but I got fired for one thing that, every correctional officer, maybe security officer has in common. And that is, if you work a graveyard, Sandman is always lurking. Sandman is always lurking. Meaning that Folgers, Maxwell, Starbucks, any of the drinks will be your friend if you do night shift. And even more shift too. But yeah, I got fired for some that in particular manner. Yeah, I might make a story about that, but yeah, man. But corrections is good though. It's a good career. It's also a great career if you decide to go to law enforcement. Now that's another thing too about corrections as a big pro too. If you decide to want to go to cross over to law enforcement, to the road, if you want to, I recommend go to corrections, because you'll learn so much in corrections that the road guys probably wouldn't know about. You know what I mean? And also get a taste of what they go through too. A little taste. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I really enjoyed it. And I would love to go back. But who knows? You never know. Maybe one day I might go back one day. I might make a video and might tell you about my day working at corrections again. But right now, I'm back into the field I've done for 10 years before I did corrections. But anyway, again, thanks so much. This is God Boy signing out. Happy late Thanksgiving. Happy Merry early Christmas. And Happy New Year. Hope 2025 will be the best year for us, because 2024, it wasn't it. It was off and on, good and bad. And honestly, to tell you the truth, it'd be mostly bad than good. Lost a lot of people and all that stuff. But anyway, this is God Boy signing out. Off duty. Take care.